Hello everyone, and welcome to another Pathfinder adventure card game scenario with the character Damiel. This is scenario 4.6, the final scenario of level 4, at the Skypharaoh's throne, where the difficulty of your checks against Banes that have the mummy trait is increased by 4, and after you're dealt damage that is not reduced, bury one random card from your discard pile. Alright, looking at Damiel's hand, it looks good. Advancing the Blessings deck, it's a Blessing of the Elements. In our first exploration, so we get the Elemental Arachnid. It's a construct, check to defeat, combat 17. The Elemental Arachnid is immune to the mental and poison traits. You may play any number of armors during this encounter. So before you act, you are dealt 1 acid damage, 1 cold damage, 1 electric. Man, that's ridiculous. Let's see. Damiel does not have any armors in his hand. Fortunately, he has the chakram. If proficient with weapons, which Damiel is, discard this card to ignore a non-villain monster's power that happens before you act. But we will definitely do that. So we have to discard the chakram. Now we have to find out how we're going to destroy this elemental arachnid. We do have an acid flask for your combat check, so we can use our disable plus 2d6. But before we do the acid flask, let's go ahead and throw up this canteen. That way, we're able to reuse our acid flask and put it on top of the canteen. That's the way to do it. There, and 2d6 right here. Let's see. So since we already did that, we have a Blessing of Thoth, and we're going to go ahead and use it. We don't want to take any chances here against this elemental arachnid. Definitely don't want to face him again. So 2d6, 2d10, add in 4 to the roll due to Damiel's disable skill. So good thing we had that blessing there. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. If it weren't for the buffs of plus 4, we would have failed. Alright. Elemental arachnid. It took a lot. It took like 4 cards, but we got rid of them. Whew. Alright, let's go ahead and reset Damiel's hand. It's got some interesting things there. Let's advance the Blessings deck. We get the Curse of Withering, and we are not putting up with that Curse of Withering. We're going to go ahead and use this Mumia to get rid of that card that has a curse trait. And we can put that on top of the canteen, which is pretty awesome. Alright, now we will explore. Alright, we get Elder Ifrite. So it's Outsider, Elemental, Johnny, Fire. Check to defeat, combat 19. So immune to the fire trait. All damage dealt by the Elder Ifrite is fire damage. If the check to defeat has a cold trait, add 1d8. If defeated, choose a type of boon other than loot and draw a boon of that type from the box. So let's see, we have the embalming fluid in our hand, which has the cold trait, but then we won't be able to use our noxious bomb. Can't use 2 items in the same check. Let's go ahead and use this noxious bomb. It's not immune to poison. So we're going to use our dexterity, or our range skill plus 2d6. We're going to also discard another card, add your craft skill. So let's go ahead and try to make that craft to 9 check right now. So we'll go ahead and discard our buddy the Viper. But let's make a craft to 9 check. Do we make it? Yeah, we have 6 plus a plus 5 modifier, since we're Damiel. So we can recharge the Viper. And now we can go ahead and use our craft skill along with our ranged skill. And we get to put the noxious bomb on top of the canteen. Wow, that's pretty cool. So, ranged skill right there. Dexterity skill, or ranged skill right there. Craft skill right there. And we get to add 2d6, and we get to add a total of plus 7 to this roll. Wow, that noxious bomb is noxious. So 7 and 6, 13, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Wow, with even all those buffs. Whew. Well, we made it, but man, what a lousy roll. So it says here, if defeated, so we are going to choose, obviously, we're Damiel. We're going to choose, we're choosing an item. So let's go ahead. and shuffle this giant stack of items. Let's cut it in half, and we get Coal of Uncanny Discernment. That's pretty cool. It's going to go into his hand. It's only a basic level item. So it goes into his hand. We're going to reset Damiel's hand. Hand is looking good. Let's see. And let's go ahead and just advance the Blessings deck. Blessing of the Ancients. We are exploring, and we get the villain of this scenario. A Shendakut. Undead Mummy Sphinx Cleric. So since it's a mummy, it's a +4 check to defeat. So let's see, we either have to do a Divine 20 or a Combat 30. Wow. So immune to mental and poison traits. If your check has the fire trait, add 1d8. We don't have anything in our hand that has the fire trait. So before you act, attempt an intelligence, charisma, or diplomacy 20 check. If you succeed, this monster is defeated. Wow. Well, Damiel has an intelligence of D10 plus 3. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any. He does not have any blessings in his hand. So that means that this is going to be an auto fail. That's too bad. That's too bad. So if you fail, we have to recharge our hand, then reset our hand, and then bury a card. Wow. So we'll go ahead and we'll have to recharge our hand. So recharging our hand, we are resetting our hand now. Let's see what we get. And we have to bury a card. Wow. So we'll bury the Alchemist's Shield. So we got brand new cards to look at here. Well, fortunately he did pick up a really great card. He picked the Scarab Sand. So now we're going to do our combat check. Obviously not doing the divine check. Scarab Sand is going to allow us to roll a d12. Plus, since it has the mummy trait, 2d6. So let's go ahead and get 2d6. Let's find a d12 here. There we go. There's a d12. And we're going to go ahead and use a Fire Lance on this guy. He's not immune to fire. It doesn't have the fire trait. It would be cool if it did. I don't know why it doesn't. They should change that. So, 4d8. We're just going to go ahead and put it on maximum overload. And then we have a, I don't know, should I use a Blessing of Abadar? Should I hold? I think I'm going to hold that for the Blessing of Kepri in case I roll some ones. So we're going to all these dice, and I got to roll, oops, not this one. I have to roll 30. Alright, let's see what we get. Alright, hey, I'm really glad I held out on that Blessing of Kepri. Because check that out, such a lousy roll. So, let's add it up. So 2 and 3 is 5, and another 5 is 10. And then 6 and 3, so we got 10 and 20 and 6. So we would have failed, but thankfully we have the Blessing of Kepri. I knew I was going to roll a bunch of 1s, so we're turning those into 6s. So turning that into a 6 and that into a 6, and look at that. We get 12, 17, 18, 19, 20, 36. So we get more than enough. Wow. So that was awesome. This undead mummy, 30 stats, ridiculous, is defeated. We can go ahead and use our canteen, bury it, get all these cards back into our hand. So we don't even need to reset our hand. Well, we can reset our hand, draw an extra card. We're fine. Damiel has enough health. The Sky Pharaoh throne has been defeated again. Alright, pretty awesome. Wow. That was an interesting scenario. It was all boom, boom, boom. 3 guys right in a row. But Damiel had really great cards. He was able to overcome the obstacles. I mean, his deck is doing really good. Since it's the last adventure of the level, let's go ahead and do a deck check here. So you can see everything that is in Damiel's deck. He's got a lot that's really, he's got this new thing, but he's not going to hold on to it because it's just a basic level. So let's see, what does he get here? Let's go ahead and look at this canteen. Man, is probably like my favorite item for Damiel. So he's got a lot of cool stuff here. This Scarab Sand, wouldn't have won without that. The Chakram, that is a really cool effect, being able to nerf those villains. Yeah, so really exciting how Damiel is advancing through this campaign. So that's the state of Damiel's deck right there. Let's go ahead and look at the reward. So the reward for this scenario was this card called the Mythiopic Sphinx, or something like that. Let's go ahead and see if I can find it. Should have got it before this scenario, but there it is. So what's this card say? It's an item, so we're probably not going to keep it. Let's zoom in there. It says here, at the end of your turn, recharge this card to recharge any number of cards, and when you set your hand, then you may search your deck for a spell and draw it. Banish this card to draw a loot ally. Okay, so interesting. Glad we looked at it, because now we know that we don't want it. Alright. So we're going to trade it. So here we now finally Damiel, he's been waiting all campaign, or I should say all level. This level 4 has been a really dearth of finding items, or I should say tradable boons to a trader. But now he's going to go to his pal, Falsine Deke. He's going to say, hey Falsine, give me something good here. Let's see what we got. So we're going to cut these cards. I don't know, I haven't been cutting the cards good lately. Right there. What's he offering us? Level 3 or level 4 only. So what do we got here? Level 3 or level 4? There's a level 3 item. Level 3 or level 4 only? Level 3. Okay, well, we wanted the Sunrod. Falsine Deke's been already trying to trade this Staff of Revelations. And I really like the bird feather tokens. It allows you to modify die rolls, which can be really handy. But as it is, we're going to tell Falsine Deke, no thanks. We really wanted that Sunrod. We were really looking at that. We heard rumors of a Sunrod. But as it is, Falsine Deke will say, see you later. We are not going to keep this, so we don't have a loot item to trade for a future campaign. But maybe we should, just so that we have something to trade. And that's pretty much the state of Damiel's deck. Thanks for watching this scenario. I'll have the start of level 5 up shortly, and another adventure up shortly. Alright, well thanks so much.